Hello. I've got the Hill Farmstead and Alchemist Flood Relief IPA. This is the one brewed at Hill Farmstead, quite sure. Canned August 3rd. And who knows if they'll ever make this again, because they just had some really bad floods in Vermont, but it seems like that happens every 10 years or so now. So I didn't know this until I just looked up John Kimmick's little video about this on Instagram. He said that it's a mashup of Hill Farmstead's Edward and Hetty Topper. I think it should be called Edward Topper or Eddie Topper. But I wasn't going to do a review until I heard that. I was like, oh, then probably I should. Even though they might never do this again. And so Hill Farmstead did a couple batches of it, and then Alchemist did a couple batches, and I guess the, owners were present for those and had input. So we'll see. I don't really know what makes it a mashup between those exactly. Except it has Simcoe in it, but both of those beers I'm pretty sure use Simcoe. That's basically all that John Kimmick said. He's the Hetty Topper guy, or the Alchemist guy. Yeah, it doesn't give you any info except that 100% of all the proceeds go towards flood charities. I didn't even buy it. My friend gave it to me, so I'm not supporting anything. So it looks, I guess, somewhat Hetty Topper Edward-like. It's a little bit, maybe a little hazier than Hetty Topper usually is, and a little less hazy than Edward is, but neither of them are that hazy. It's got a little bit of malt, caramel malt or something going on in there. You can see some color, and the head looks very nice. And I guess it does smell quite a bit like Hetty Topper, but I'm quite sure that this is, it says Hill Farmstead Flood Relief, and I'm quite positive that's the only place my friend went. But it does have some kind of Hetty Topper-like quality. He didn't say if they used the same yeast or anything. I'm betting they wouldn't. Yeah, it doesn't quite have that big Alchemist yeast note. I've used to describe that yeast quality as like purple drink or something, kind of grapey, but not. It's definitely Simcoe-y. It's got that grassy, peachy, but kind of ruby red grapefruit bitter thing happening. With 7% alcohol. And head sticking around real nicely. Surprisingly close to Hetty Topper. 7% is close to 8% more than, I think Edward is like 5.2. But yeah, it's got a little bit more of like a sweet caramel malt thing like Hetty Topper does. It's a little bit more traditional IPA, I guess. It does have some haze, but it's not really a hazy, juicy type thing. And despite the low haze, it does have a nice soft mouthfeel and a firm bitterness. It's not quite as firm as Hetty Topper, but pretty close. It almost seems like it's a single version of Hetty Topper, which is never going to be created, I assume. And there's some of that sort of like cooked tropical fruit soup sort of thing, because of the caramel malt and then the Simcoe. It's not coming out as super bright, juicy. I would say it's like definitely a lot of citrus bitterness, but then like slightly cooked peaches or pineapple or something. With a little bit of brown sugar in there or something. It's very good. Yeah, I like it a lot. Maybe it reminds me of some of the Alchemist's IPAs, like not exactly Focal Banger, because Citra and Mosaic have a very different profile. But maybe some of their other IPAs, they've done the... I guess Holy Cow's like only 5%, and Rapture's like 7%, and that uses Galaxy, but... Yeah, it reminds me more of Alchemist IPAs than Hill Farmstead, honestly. Very nice head retention, very nice feel. Almost it reminds me of some of West Coast IPAs, except it's not clear enough, but it's very nice. Maybe it's sort of like Russian River. Blind Pig is very, very pale. There's like no caramel malt in that one, but maybe it's sort of close to somewhere between Heady Topper and Blind Pig more. For a rating, it's really nice. It's something that I haven't had something like this in a while. I haven't had Alchemist in a while. And we've got a nice little like cap of foam, like an island of foam in the middle. You can't really see it. That's like coming up higher. Even though it's a quickly made beer, it was well thought out. It turned out pretty well. So at least a 4.25 or something.